These are the shocking videos which sparked an inquiry into what was happening to children imprisoned in Australia. In one, a boy is strapped to a chair and hooded. Another video shows a boy being picked up by a guard and thrown into his room. Much of the abuse happened here at the Don Dale prison for young offenders near Darwin. Well over 90% of people detained here and elsewhere in the Northern Territory over recent years have been Aboriginal. Earlier this year, boys living in the Territory told Al Jazeera that, among them, the abuse was well known.
I knew they treated us different, knew they'd done that kind of stuff, seen it with my own eyes as I grew up,
Yeah, all the boys that go in and out of there, they tell you what it's like, and then it's not good.
On Friday, after an investigation which has lasted more than a year, members of a Royal Commission inquiry released their report and recommendations. They said they'd found shocking and systemic failures over many years, which were well known and ignored at the highest levels. The Northern Territory's Chief Minister said the failings were a stain on the Northern Territory's reputation.
We have been breaking our kids, not building them up. That has become increasingly evident through the Royal Commission hearings.
The report recommends the immediate closure of the Don Dale prison. It says children under 14 should only be detained for the most serious of crimes. Tear gas, force and restraint should never be used on children, and video cameras should be worn by guards to monitor their behaviour. But some worry the recommendations won't be enacted and don't go far enough.
We've seen so many inquiries make great recommendations and nothing happen. Youth detention isn't working for these young people, and we do need a paradigm shift.
The Northern Territory's government says it broadly supports the reforms proposed in the report. Australia's Prime Minister says there are implications for how all Australian states deal with delinquent children. This is a report into the abuse of children, but in truth, given that the vast majority of those at the Northern Territory in prisons are Aboriginal, this is also a report into the abuse of Indigenous Australians. That makes its findings particularly sensitive. Australia has a dark history of abuse towards the so-called First Australians. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Sydney.